What is up guys, Admin Vaas here, and today we're looking at Suicide Squad, and if you're worried about spoilers, don't be. There'll be a 10-second buffer before then. If you're looking for a simple yes or no recommendation, yes, I would recommend you see this, with the stipulation that you actually like DC. If you're not necessarily a fanboy, but someone who's casually involved in the movies and the comics, then seeing these characters on screen will definitely hype you up, and it'll mean a lot more to you as opposed to someone who doesn't really know about them. On a scale of 1 to 5, I'd rate this movie a very high 3. It's slightly above average. It had the potential to be a 5, but the mistakes in it keep it from even being a complete 4, which is a shame. DC really needed this. It's kinda drowning right now. BVS and Man of Steel, they made enough money to fund future projects, but they weren't entirely too well received. Suicide Squad was meant to be sort of a lifeboat to keep them from drowning, but instead it's those little inflatable duck arm floaties. It's barely keeping DC's head above water, but maybe that's just enough to tide us over until Wonder Woman. Let me go into the positives and negatives of this movie. Again, we're still not in spoiler territory, so don't worry. For the most part, the actors portray their characters very well in this movie. Props to Viola Davis's Amanda Waller and Will Smith's Deadshot. I personally think they set the bar for the rest of the cast, and most of the cast does meet those expectations with the exception of Margot Robbie and Jared Leto as, Joker and Harley Quinn respectively. I'll go ahead and make a case for Joker that he only had 7 to 12 minutes of on-screen time. That might be a little bit too quick to judge, and I want to attribute some of their shortcomings to whoever was writing the script. They fucked up, because they were given lines that were so hammy and so cheesy that no matter how you try to deliver them, no matter what kind of twist you try to put on them, they were gonna sound cringy anyways. But there was just something off about Harley Quinn. She honestly came off a little bit skimpier than usual, a little bit loose, if you know what I mean. But other than that, no complaints. The visual aesthetic is also worth mentioning since it's so unique and kind of sets Suicide Squad apart from other movies in the DC lineup. It's really gritty and grungy, almost graffiti-like style that I think really fits in with the idea and themes of Suicide Squad. Lastly, the action sequences and choreography are very interesting and really entertaining. That's usually not an issue with DC, but it's still worth mentioning here. What's also worth mentioning is the soundtrack, which is a mix of classics like AC/DC and the Rolling Stones with modern hits like 21 Pilots and Rick Ross. While I'm not opposed to either genres of music individually, I feel like they clash a little bit too much in this movie, and that's also partially due to the editing. The way the first half of the movie is assembled makes it feel awkward and disjointed. This is because you have character introductions. Obviously, these people haven't really had prior movies to establish themselves, so everyone has to have their own little moment. This is where most of the issues in the movie occur, where scene-to-scene transition is made very jarring because of the choice in music. It's a bit like
injection you got. It's a nanite explosive. It's the size of a rice grain, but it's powerful as a hand grenade. You disobey me, you die.
It jumps around and skitters a bit too much for my liking, but thankfully this doesn't carry over to the second half of the film, where most of the action and important scenes are. My last bone to pick with is the way the characters are used. I know it's called Suicide Squad, but the way the cast has just been mismanaged. It should just be Deadshot and friends. I think they relied a bit too heavily on Will Smith to carry the movie, and the rest of the characters as a result don't get much screen time. They really just don't feel that important or make much of an impact on the movie aside from a few funny lines. After it's all said and done, you've still got a decent and really fun movie. I think it's definitely worth your time to see it right now if you can. If not, all the deleted scenes and such where the Joker was supposed to be in, and additional goodies will be there on the Blu-ray, so check them both out if you can. And I guess we'll walk into spoilers now.
They creeping under my skin. They creeping under my skin. They creeping under my skin. They creeping under my skin.
First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. This is spoilers now, so if you're already here, then uncover your ear holes, cause it's gonna happen. X gonna give it to you. First things first, the whole idea of Suicide Squad, I don't know. This specific iteration is a bit strange because, like I said earlier, some of the characters just don't feel important on screen because of Will Smith, but even logically, that you've got Harley Quinn, you've got a few other characters that just don't really have any specific powers. I get that. It just kind of dwarfs them compared to Kitana, who can, like, trap people in this blade of hers. It's a bit strange to see these superpowered individuals and then, yep, here's just lady, she'll hit you, Harley Quinn. She's not right in the head. That's what you're fighting. And amazingly enough, they hold their own against the Enchantress oids, whatever you want to call them. They've got weird testicle heads, and I figured that would have been a problem anyways. Since this movie is PG-13, you can't exactly have them go up against humans, which is why Enchantress was probably picked to be the enemy. Because then you can just bash these testicle heads all day long and they just break into ash. They don't particularly have any blood. Even though they used to be humans, she kissed them. That's how they turn into these monster fucking ball sacks. She kisses them. That seems like a fair enough trade, other than being killed by it. I imagine after you turn into one of those monsters, you don't really have much cognizance or anything else other than fucking kill whatever Enchantress wants you to kill. Not to mention, Enchantress as a villain just really didn't seem all that credible as a threat, because if random people just off the street per se, like I said before, not everyone in the squad has superpowers. If you can just fucking shoot them like the Marines did, like Deadshot did, if you can just throw a boomerang at them, then how much of a threat are you really? Like, your minions ain't shit, and to be honest, you ain't shit. She resurrected her brother, since Enchantress's whole thing is, archaeologist who broke some fucking little statue's neck. Now it's inside of me. She does something similar with a random guy off the street, which I kind of don't get. If you have the power to go anywhere in the world, period, why wouldn't you pick someone powerful? Like, why wouldn't you pick a superhero and fuck their shit up? Why wouldn't you go to Superman's corpse and resurrect that? Because she apparently can't resurrect dead people, from what I understand. So why not just go to that and then fuck it up for everyone? Of course you can't do that, because even then that would negate the entire idea of the Suicide Squad, since they're not entirely superpowered individuals. They would have their shit kicked in instantly. So I kind of see why they didn't do that. But if you were gonna do that, then the whole threat with Enchantress is, she's trying to take over the world. So why are you throwing these nobodies in? Like, this is a global thing. There's a giant beam coming out of the sky, and that's very fucking cliche, but I'll tolerate that. But why would you send these mediocre villain nobodies whenever you've got Flash and stuff going around? Where are they? Like, we know Superman's dead. He's got an excuse to be tardy to the party. But where's B-Man? Where's everyone else? It just kind of feels a little bit strange that this is their plan A, as opposed to trying to get into contact with Batman or any of the other heroes that are active. I don't know, that's a bit strange. And again, it is weird, since Enchantress is like a global threat. They're sending these nobodies in. It's just mismatched. But then you've got wild cards like Diablo. We really didn't know the extent of his power until the very end of the movie, because his whole thing was, I killed my wife and kid. I won't ever hurt anyone ever again, even though these people are actively trying to kill you. I don't get it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. He was never really put in harm's way to begin with, so I guess that kind of compensates for that. But like watching a bunch of other people get their shit kicked in on your accord, he could have saved people. You know, they've got Suicide Squad and they've got the Marines escorting them just in case they try to defect. Most of them died. You actively let them die because everyone else was fighting people, those weird testicleoids. You let them die by not acting for them. So what the fuck? Like what are you really even? But then again, his whole honor code, whatever. He makes up for it in the end. The ultimate sacrifice. He has to eat a hot dog. No, he eats it really bad. But he went out like a G. So I guess that's alright for him. And, I mean, for the rest of the world, for the rest of the Suicide Squad, apparently. I don't know why he turned around so quickly on them. If he wasn't willing to fight for them after a scene where they drink. They're just drinking. He's like, oh, well, I'm gonna tell you my whole life story. We're family now. Even though they sandbagged him most of the time. Harley Quinn especially, she fucking shit on him. You know, fuck your sentimentality. We're bad guys now. Who cares if you've killed people? Accept it. Like, for the most part, no one was really jumping to his aid. They were just like, oh, leave him alone. But they never actively said, you know, you're fucked up. Why wouldn't you understand his position? They're just like, leave him be. The fucking hot Cheetos had enough hardships in his life or whatever. You know, fair enough. Then, you know, the rest of the cast isn't really super worth mentioning. You get scenes with the Joker, but like I said before, he only has 7 minutes of on-screen time, so yeah, a lot of his scenes were cut, as I said before, so look forward to that in the Blu-ray most likely. Killer Croc, he's just weird crocodile guy they recruited. You can say that with a lot of the cast. Actually, Rick Flag is worth mentioning. He is one of the integral parts of the movie, since he's actually with the Enchantress character sexually. They're romantically involved, and that's why he's invested in the whole thing, is that, oh, you know, if she dies, so does who Enchantress is possessing, which happens to be his girlfriend, his love interest. So, yeah, things are things. I know I'm forgetting a few things, and I'll try to gloss over that before the video ends. But for the most part, this is a really fun movie. I'm not gonna say that, you know, it's solid as far as the plot and stuff is concerned. It kind of falls apart here and there whenever you try to analyze it, but don't analyze it. Like, ever since I've started my channel, I feel like anything I'm watching is I'm picking apart in my mind. So, I don't know, I feel like I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the whole crew of friends I went with, which is unfortunate. They were laughing a lot more than I was. I guess I was trying a little bit more to focus because I knew I had a video planned. But whatever. It really is not that bad, like, at all. Not as bad as the critics are saying it is. And like I said, it would have gotten to a 4, like a solid 4, if the issues that were there weren't. You could tell that the reshoots really did contribute to that overall, yeah, we fucked up. BVS was gritty, it was dark. No one really would say, yeah, it was a fun movie, because it wasn't really meant to be, which is the problem. If you're gonna make a movie between two superheroes and stuff and just fight, then it's gonna depress the audience just to see a bunch of dreary shit happening. Batman killing people, Superman, you know, not necessarily Oof. That's another video, so I won't go too into it. But a little bit of humor would have helped out there. I guess that's what they tried to do here. And personally, I thought the jokes were hit or miss. A few of them were actually pretty funny, but I don't know. It's a really tough call. But like I said, it's really not as bad as the critics are saying. These are the same people that are giving Ghostbusters a 54% on Rotten Tomatoes. And, you know, just in general, stay away from Rotten Tomatoes. I'd say IMDb is the more reliable source, since you've actually got critic feedback as well as average audience, like you and me, buddy. We're there, we're waving our dicks around saying, hey, it's really not that bad. And I'm glad I could put this video out to show everyone that, hey, it's really not. It's definitely worth your money. But if you're gonna pick it apart like I did, or maybe think a little bit too much into the plot, it's gonna bother you a little bit, to be completely honest. But I think it's still fun. It's a bit sloppy. It's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. But it's a fun mess that you should be very happy to be involved in, to witness happen. And I'm hoping this trend doesn't continue with other DC movies. Wonder Woman is the most notable, coming up soon in 2017, I believe. So keep your eyes out for that. The trailer looks great. The trailers for Suicide Squad kind of didn't, which is why I had some doubts going in. But coming out, I think it did alright for itself. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below of the video, of the movie, and just anything else in general for Suicide Squad, for DC, for anything. Just go ahead and drop your opinions in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hey, my bullets are blue.
Really, I think it's best if we break it off.
And we get fucking dumped
Jim
on in the
needs
first
me.
10
Your
seconds.
priority is your work, and I don't see any other way.
Seriously, just like a nice seeming pile right on my chest. Wow, that is a very fucking desperate face, and so are these options. What about a drink? Can we wait for our drinks?